Thanks for tuning in to Urban Beats Radio 2. I am your host, Reshon Ellis, and today we are interviewing Chris Williams, who brings us two new shows here at Urban Beats Radio 2. In My Mind, Everybody Knows Chris, which airs every Friday night at 10 p.m., and The Men Show on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing well, Reshon. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Absolutely. Well, about myself, Chris Williams, an avid podcaster. I'm from a small town in Sanford, Florida, which is located right between the I-4 corridor of Daytona Beach and Orlando.
Okay, and so how did you get into media, podcasting?
Well, I started getting into media back in 10th grade at Lake Mary High School, television productions class with Mr. Anthony. And when I got into that class, I actually had my own little teenage talk show.
Right, okay. Started young.
Absolutely.
Great.
And I was actually inspired by Martin Payne.
There you go, got you.
AKA Martin Lawrence, but
right.
You know, he had a radio show on his sitcom.
Okay.
Martin, and the way he just carried himself really
so that inspired you.
Absolutely.
Great. So what inspired you to podcast your show?
Well, I was a guest on a podcast, Truth Moment podcast with Mika Joy, and the show was about an hour long, and immediately after I finished up, I had to give Mika a call because I was so inspired. It was such like a rush that went through me, and I don't know why, but I think at that point in time, I figured out, I felt that I found my platform for my voice.
Exactly. So what do you like most about podcasting your shows?
I like, what I like most about podcasting or podcasting my shows?
Both.
Okay. Well, what I like most about podcasting is the sheer creativity of it, because you're really taking nothing and making it into something, whether you are a music person or an arts person. You can really talk about any and all subjects that are pertinent to you in your life and the things that you're passionate about. And what I like about podcasting my shows is it allows not only myself a platform for my voice, but I share that platform with a lot of friends and family.
Absolutely. What are some of the show topics that are discussed on your show that will be relatable to your listeners?
Well, at the top of the show, I definitely talk about things that are inspirational. And they're inspirational to me, but they're inspirational in the sense that I'm, an open book pretty much, and I share my experiences, whether it's professional experience, personal experience. But I come from an inspirational and a motivational standpoint. So I have 5 podcast shows.
Yeah, about 10, about 20.
Absolutely. Well, one of my monikers is the Podfather.
That's right.
So the first show that I kicked off was In My Mind, Everybody Knows Chris, and that show has 2 segments. My first segment is Note to Self, and that's more of the introspective piece. And then I have Bet on Yourself, which is more my entrepreneurial piece. Okay. And then my other shows are The Men Show, Two Kings in the Pod. I have another show which I share the platform with a good friend of mine, by the name of Whitney Minor, Quick Wit. And Whitney Minor is a plant-based yogi and for the listeners who don't know, I'm also vegetarian. So,
oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Awesome.
What that show is about is just more of a healthy, plant-based take on how to live right, how to eat right, how to be right, So it's more about, healthy diet, healthy living, making sure that we are accountable for what we're putting in our bodies. And it actually is more inspirational than that. It's more so about, not only what we consume from eating, but also what we consume in terms of what we're putting in our minds.
Right. Okay. That's one thing I want to also add as well. Like, since you've been doing your shows here with us at Urban Beats, the thing that I like about it is it gives us a whole different spin on doing shows. We're not just doing like talk radio. You're actually talking about stuff that's going to make people conscious, aware about life, how to take care of their bodies, healthy choices, healthy decisions, different things or whatever, other than just like the regular hip hop stuff. That we see. We're kind of like turning away from that a little bit, which is good.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yes.
And
we
you know what?
That. Something fresh, something new.
Well, I actually want to thank you for allowing me to be
problem.
a part of, Urban Beats Radio 2. When you extended the invitation, I quickly jumped on it. A lot of the things that really kickstarted my initiatives with podcasting was me just seeing the edge and not being afraid to jump. I think a lot of people have a lot of great ideas, and they get scared. They're initially filled with fear because they're worried about being judged,
right,
or things like that.
Right.
And not to say that I'm not afraid. I think I still deal with a lot of the fear of same thing that everybody else deals with. But when you allowed me to be a part of Urban Beats Radio 2, I quit what I learned to do in life.
Right.
I learned to say yes,
right,
and then figure it out on the back end.
Exactly.
Right.
Just
So because
see what happens.
Anything that's going to be worth having is going to be worth risking. So putting some risk in there, and then, like I said, there's a lot of risk that comes with this stuff. But I think
definitely
the reward definitely outweighs the risk.
Well, most definitely, you have to take that chance and see what happens.
That's why I say bet on yourself.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so, what is the message that you want your listeners to take away from your shows that you do?
Well, I hope they take away everything.
You have good stuff.
Yeah, I hope they take away the true intent, and like I said, especially with the men's show, right? The men's show has men as a moniker, and that stands for motivating, power, and nurture. And I want people to take inspiration from the show, but I want them to not only take that inspiration and do something with it, and that's where the motivation piece comes from.
Okay, and also, where can your followers follow you on social media?
They can hit me up on @CWillHoller on IG. The Men's Show has its own IG page as well, and that's @The Men's Show, and then Two Kings in the Pod, @Two Kings in the Pod.
Okay, Chris, for joining us today on Urban Beats Radio 2 and also being a part of our family. And all the followers, please don't forget to follow Chris on all the social media sites.
Thank you.
You're welcome.